brand new 2026 edition free skincare calendar. That's what today's Instagram Live is about. This is the updated ultimate skincare calendar, and it's absolutely free. When I post this to my main feed, after I explain all this, when I post this to my main feed, comment the word protocol, and it will get you a link to this free calendar. And this is how I combined all the at-home skincare gadgets like microneedling, microcurrent, radio frequency, red light therapy, dry brushing, chemical peels, all of the good stuff in an easy to follow calendar that addresses the skincare at the same time. So topical skincare and at-home skincare gadgets in a way that creates, and here's the whole concept, it creates a wave of collagen production much like we had when we were younger. So when we get done growing at about 25, our muscular skeletal frame kind of stops growing. That's when we've gotten to the size that we're going to get to. And so what happens when that happens is our collagen production starts declining by 1 to 3% per year, depending on our lifestyle habits, right? If you smoke, of course, you're going to sabotage your collagen production. If you're a drinker, you're going to sabotage your collagen production. If you're out in the sun, things like that, right? Pollution exposure, heavy metals, toxins, all of that stuff affect your collagen production. But really, age is the biggest factor that affects our collagen in our skin. And so what this does is it creates a wave of collagen production, much like our muscular skeletal frame was still growing in our youth. Okay, I'm almost 58. So I have been doing this for a very long time in terms of at-home skincare gadgets. And I can tell a huge difference in my skin and the skin of my clients by following this. And what I see oftentimes with other people who are, skincare obsessed like I am, I didn't go to school for skincare. I went to school to help you live longer. But I have been obsessed with skincare since I bought my first wrinkle cream at the age of 15. And it wasn't because I had wrinkles at 15, but I was obsessed and interested in the whole science behind skincare. And so I have been a guinea pig in this industry for so long. A lot of in-office procedures, lasers that would first come out, Morpheus 8, Thermage, all of that stuff. And what I found in all of my years of doing this is that if you are consistent at home with lesser intense treatments, but what I'm going to go over, I'm going to do a microcurrent on my face. I have no makeup on. Microcurrent on my face. I'm going to do DPL on my face. We're going to talk about microneedling. But if you are doing these things at home in a strategic way that creates this wave of collagen production, you're going to have better results than doing these occasionally in office. And so I'm going to start with week 1. I'm going to explain this calendar. And again, it's absolutely free. You can't get it right now, right this second while I'm in the live show. But as soon as this live show ends, in the comment section, comment the word protocol. And it will get you this ultimate skincare calendar. We have a slight typo on this, on the AR in this, but it'll be corrected. You might not get it before it's corrected because it won't be corrected until Monday. But I don't know how I missed that. Anyways, it starts with microneedling. I microneedle every Sunday, every single Sunday. Not my face, but on the first Sunday of every month, my face. So Michael 13 King and Matthew as well, when I post this to my main feed, I wish that Instagram would do this thing where you can comment here and then you can it'll go straight to your DM, but I don't think it works that way. I might be wrong, but I don't think it works that way. When I post this to my main feed, that's where in the comment section, comment that word protocol. And Matthew and Michael, or Michelle, I don't know which one, I normally post this 10 minutes after I get off of here. It just takes me a little bit of time to write the caption, put the cover photo up there, and then this whole live will be on will be on my main feed for Instagram. When that happens, in that comment section, please give it a like, okay? Give it a heart. Make sure you're following me. Don't take a free calendar if you're not following me, okay? So follow me, give it a heart, and then comment the word protocol. If you're following me and you comment the word protocol, Then you check your DMs and you'll get this free skincare gadget protocol that you can print out. Let's start from the beginning. It's all going to start with microneedling. I microneedle at home every single Sunday, a different body part, but it starts with the face. So I'm going to do tomorrow's Sunday. I'm going to do a full microneedling demo of my face tomorrow, the same time on Instagram Live. We're going to get into it. And what I use is a Dr. Penn M8. I've been using this for a long time. It's got the sterile refill cartridges. We're going to go over all of this, but this device literally will change your skin. When you do this in office, you're spending $500 a pop, at least, for microneedling in office. That's without PRP, without doing anything special. Just going in there and doing a microneedling is about $500. The device itself is $299, on sale now for $199. All you have to do is, when I post this to my main feed, comment the word microneedling. When you comment microneedling, here's what you get. A full guidebook, free for microneedling. So it gives you all of the downloadable, so this is all downloadable, clickable links to get to the tools that I like to use, between a microneedling pen, microneedling rollers, microneedling stampers. I give it to you all along with what I'm using. And you're going to see this tomorrow when I microneedle my face. A hyaluronic acid, and then I tell you how we talk about safety, because safety is a big one. I'm going to go over all that tomorrow. But this is all the different needle links depending on which part you're trying to treat. In other words, you wouldn't treat your eyes, around your eyes, with like a 1 millimeter depth, the same as you would your cheek, because the anatomy, underneath this is thicker. For craft's sake, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do an example of a zip halo. I'm also going to do, here's what's coming up, you guys. I'm going to have a demo of the zip halo. I'm going to have a demo of the new face. I might even do a demo of the MyoLift Mini. We're also going to be doing a demo of the Jove's DPL device. And we're going to talk about this calendar, because this calendar will change your skin. Okay, so this is what you would get if you, after I post this to my feed, you comment the word microneedling, you'll get this guide. And that will help you during the live show when I microneedle my face tomorrow. Okay, so the first Sunday of every month, which is tomorrow, microneedle my face. Then it gives you the post treatment: mineral water, hyaluronic acid, Aquaphor. Download the microneedling guidebook. Okay, we go to Monday. So we just microneedled the day before this. The last thing you want to do if you microneedle the day before is stick on your active ingredients like vitamin C's or retinoids or anything like that. You do not want to do that. It's going to hinder your healing. So the day after microneedling, what we're doing is red light therapy. Yeah, this guy. But also the panels. I want to tell you a little bit about red light therapy. Not just red light therapy, but all light spectrums, okay? All light spectrums. Concert fanatic, comment that word microneedling when I post this to my feed. So when I post this to my feed, hi Christine, when I post this to my feed, not here, in the comment section, follow me first, okay? Don't get all my free stuff without following me. Follow me first, then give it a heart, then comment microneedling or comment protocol. And this is what you'll get with the protocol. And this is the calendar, the free calendar that shows you how do you incorporate microneedling, red light therapy, radio frequency, microcurrent, dry brushing, chemical peels, all in a strategic way that doesn't exhaust your skin. And the way that I kind of equate that, because I see it all the time on social media. I see people that are in there for skincare. That's what they do. And their skin is exhausted because they're doing way too many things for it. I equate it like over curling your hair. Have you ever curled your hair with a curling iron and then you've just done it too many times and it gets to the point where it's like your hair is like, I'm on strike. I cannot curl this anymore. It's not going to curl. Your skin can do that too. It's like building up a collagen scaffolding. And then before it gets strong, before it's built up, you're knocking it down again. That is going to exhaust your skin and it will cause more harm than good. So red light therapy is a big thing inside this skincare protocol. So let me just stick this here. Let me go over it real quick. So for the first 4 days post microneedling, we are in healing mode. We are not in treatment mode. We've already done a big treatment, which I'm going to show you tomorrow. We're in healing mode here. So red light therapy, red light therapy, red light therapy, red light therapy. That's also near infrared, and I'm going to talk about this particular thing. We're going to change this. I want you to think of red light therapy as a multi-spectrum, okay? So right after you get done microneedling, and I'm going to talk about this again tomorrow, you would think, or people will have you believe, red light therapy right after microneedling. Actually, the best light right after microneedling is blue. Blue, cyan, violet. Why? Because it kills the bacteria on the surface of the skin. I'm going to show you a little diagram. So this is how LED works. Depending on the wavelength, so a blue light, which we're going to use right after microneedling, is this very squiggly line. When that line starts curving into the skin, boom, that is the point where it's trying to treat. So in other words, a blue light, which is a 435, I think in mine it's a 435 nanometer, targets acne, bacteria, soothes the skin, controls oil production, but it's antibacterial. So it will kill any bacteria that we could potentially have on our skin post microneedling. It's amazing to do that right after microneedling because it sets your skin up for the red light therapy to come on the following days. It's going to really help. So when we're doing this blue light, in fact, let me get my little thing here. Hold on, people, everybody hold on. I want to show you, I thought I had it. There's another light spectrum. Here's what I wanted to talk about. So when we're healing from microneedling, right off the bat, blue, violet, cyan, because those are the ones that are on the surface. When you look at blue, violet, cyan, that's all in here. And the wavelength of that is very short. So it's hitting the surface of the area for superficial healing. So it's not just antibacterial, it's superficial healing as well. You're going to heal faster from the microtrauma from the microneedle using the blue, violet, and cyan on the day of microneedling. Then after that is when you're going to use the red after that. So Tuesday, red light, red light, red light, red light. And that's also near infrared, okay? In addition, green. So when we talk about LED spectrum, the most common in all red and all lights these days are red and near infrared. And the reason why they put the near infrared in there is because it intensifies the red light. It intensifies the red light. So on this mask, it is, when you turn it on, its default mode is red. And it's completely wireless too. So you can do it either here or while it's on the mask. When you double click it, it goes over to a 10-minute mode. And then you can toggle all of the different light modes from there. So when I kind of try to explain this, like when you're healing from something or you're wanting to target something, let me use a different analogy. Let's say you want to increase bone density. When you increase bone density, you're not just taking a K2D3 supplement. You're not just walking with a weighted vest. You're not just lifting weights, right? You're doing all of that. You're doing all of it because that is all going to improve your bone density. When you're talking about photoaging, it's not just red light. That's going to go to a certain thing. When we're talking about photoaging, red, near infrared, green, and orange. Because it's giving you all of those little tiny variations within that particular level of the dermis. The dermis lays right underneath the epidermis. And so it's like, let me just color outside the lines here. Instead of just pinpointing it, I'm going to get a much better supported result. So in other words, if you only did red light, That's one wavelength, right? It's 850, normally 630, 635, 680 it goes up to in red light. Near infrared is 800 to 880. Those are the therapeutic ranges. When combining those things with different other spectrums, for example, orange makes a big difference because you're then supporting it in a better way. When you're talking about hyperpigmentation, which one of the big things with aging skin is that discoloration. I don't have makeup on right now, you guys, because I'm going to do some treatments. I have a little bit of mascara on, but that's it. I'm going to do some treatments, but I'm always doing green light at night because at almost 58 years old, the amount of sun damage that I've been exposed to on my skin, green light makes a huge difference in that. Why? Because it's strategic targeting. When you look at the green light spectrum, green light goes to literally the point, wait, let me see if I have that on a different thing. Maybe I didn't. Green light literally, oh, here we go. This is a better graph. Green light literally hits exactly where the melanocytes are. And it causes the melanocytes to decrease the melanin production. I know. So if you're looking at what are the signs of photoaging? Fine lines and wrinkles, enlarged pores, skin discoloration, textural changes, hyperpigmentation. If you are not treating hyperpigmentation with green light, it's like not doing all of the stuff for bone density. It's like, I'm only going to wear a weighted vest. You can treat hyperpigmentation with red light and near infrared, but it's not a direct hit, right? So you combine them with photoaging. So does that make sense? The length of the wave, how deep it goes, depends on how that wave curves. The shorter wavelengths like blue are more squiggly. They're more surface. Red and near infrared go deeper, much deeper. So red light, of course, everybody knows red light is fine lines and wrinkles, skin proliferation. It's got to do with collagen production. It helps with circulation, bringing oxygen to a lot of stuff, lymphatic drainage, blah, blah, blah. Near infrared is more deeper tissue healing. So when we're talking about doing microneedling and we're talking about day one, do we need to do deeper tissue healing? No. We need this. We need this, right? Just on day one. Then we can step into those other wavelengths, the red, near infrared, green, as we get further down the week. But initially on this Sunday, when I get done microneedling my skin, tomorrow live, it's going to be blue, cyan, and violet. Those are those particular light spectrums that help to heal superficial trauma. Now, if I were to continue with the blue light and the violet and the cyan later on in the week, like Thursday and Friday, that's going to be drying. So I don't want to do that, but I want to kill the bacteria right away. So I use those three light spectrums on Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is red, near infrared, green, because you don't want to do microneedling on your skin and create more hyperpigmentation. And so you want to add that green light in there as well. Okay, keep going with this whole thing. When we get to Friday, so we just microneedled, then this is healing, 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 healing. And the skincare is representative of that. Next week, I'm doing my Ultimate Skincare topical live show, and that is the 2026 Ultimate Skincare edition. I was going to do it this week, but it's getting pushed to next week because I want to talk about this calendar first. Okay, but you'll see, and I'll explain it next week too, that your skincare changes. You don't have an active here that would be stinging, so no retinoids, no vitamin C, no AHAs, no BHAs until you get to Friday. You don't want to irritate something that is still trying to heal. So when we get to Friday, we do microcurrent. I'm going to tell you about microcurrent. Okay, let me get this stuff over here. I love microcurrent, and we are doing typically microcurrent, so don't look at it at this week, but microcurrent is twice a week. So every Wednesday And every Friday, I'm doing microcurrent. Every Tuesday and let me do this again. Hold on. Okay, 1 second. Every Sunday, we're microneedling. Every Monday, we're doing red light therapy. We're also doing some radio frequency in here on the days that we're not microneedling the face. When we're talking about microcurrent we're doing every Wednesday and every Friday, except for the first week when we're microneedling our face. You don't want to microneedle your face and then 2 days later you're trying to run one of these devices over the top of it. Wait a little bit. But on the typical weeks, we're doing microcurrent twice a week, we're doing DPL twice a week, we're doing red light therapy, and we're adjusting our skincare accordingly. Okay, so with microcurrent, looking for my little thing. There's lots of different activating gels that you can use. You need a conductive gel when you do microcurrent. I want to talk about 3 different devices here, okay? One is the Zip Halo. And this I can get you a code on. I think that also comes when you comment the word protocol after this is posted to the main feed. And you comment the word protocol, then you also get this plus another document. This is my favorite, all-time favorite products. And a lot of the products that I'm talking about today will be in there, okay? So microcurrent, the conductive gels that they are using today are very different than the conductive gels they used to use. Used to use like a thick conductive gel, and then you'd have to wipe the whole thing off. Look, here's conductive gel. This is by HR. This is by Medicube, which I love this brand of devices, Medicube devices. But in other words, it used to be like a thicker gel, and now some of the conductive gels that they have, like the Zip Halo has this one. This is the Zip Electric Complex. New Face, this is a silk cream activator. You do not need to wash these off. So I'll tell you what I've done to my face so far when I woke up. Woke up, did my cold plunge, stepped into my red light therapy alcove thing, and then put on a One Skin peptide. I don't have any other active on, just a one skin peptide, which helps with senescent cells. I'm going to talk about it when I talk about my ultimate skincare routine next Saturday. Don't worry. But we're going to get into all of that stuff. Peptides, plus actives, retinoids, vitamin C. How do you mix them? That's all next week. WJM53 said, I hope this is all written down because I did not know all of this about all the different lights. Isn't that shocking? Like, people aren't explaining that different wavelengths of light, LED, make a huge impact in specific levels of your skin that are important. So if you're only doing red and near infrared, you're missing a big opportunity to address some of those concerns like sunspots, hyperpigmentation, melasma, to address them directly, which is going to give you a much better effect. It's like the bone density, right? You want the weighted vest, you want to lift weights, you want to take the supplements, you want to do all the stuff together. All of that, multiple modalities of treatment is going to have a better effect. It's the same thing when it comes to LED with your face. Okay. I'm going to do this New Face. So this New Face, it's kind of comes out like a cream slash, it's like a cream slash serum. You don't need a ton of it. And guess what? It's loaded with peptides. And after you're done, you simply pat it into your skin. So it's a conductive gel and a treatment all together. And remember, we're doing microcurrent twice a week. Why? Because it energizes the cell. This is a Zip Halo, long hold to turn it on. Gosh, I hope this has a battery. That would be bad. Let me try this one. Long hold to turn it on. And then it fits in the palm of your hand. It's so easy. And what you do is you start at the bottom and you press and hold. Wait for it to do that the little vibration. Press and hold. Press and hold. And this is using, as you can see, a 2-lobe system. So as I'm doing this, electric current is running underneath my skin and connecting with that other lobe there. On a 2-lobe system, like the New Face and like the Zip Halo, the technique for that is a press and hold technique. It helps with lymphatic drainage. It helps to lift the skin. It also helps to energize the skin. And so it's creating more ATP production. The interesting thing about this Zip Halo is that it is a microcurrent, so you're getting the lift mixed with a nanocurrent that is increasing ATP in the cell. So it's energizing the cell. And one of the things that happens as we age, in addition to all the other stuff that we talked about, is that your cells themselves have less ATP production. So this not only helps with that lift and lymphatic drainage, because look what I'm doing. I'm pressing this against my skin, pulling it out towards my ears, which has that channel that drains from your face down your neck. So by doing this microcurrent, no matter what microcurrent device you use, it absolutely is helping with lymphatic drainage. Now, the one thing that you want to be careful of is if you are somebody that gets Botox, you don't want to use a microcurrent device around the areas where you get Botox because it's going to diminish the effects of the Botox. Makes sense, right? You put in a neurotoxin to stop the dynamic muscles from contracting. And in doing that, you've softened that look. But what this is doing is it's literally exercising those muscles that you have paralyzed. And so you want to make sure that you're not doing it in places like my forehead that will diminish my Botox, unless you're doing it close to the time that you need Botox anyways. And right now, my Botox is like pretty gone. But normally I would not do this on my forehead. I do it underneath here, and I do it underneath where my jowls are. And also, see right here? I'm getting that underneath that chin. I'm gonna do this side with this. Stay away from your thyroid. You can do this on your neck, but you don't wanna do anything here. No radio frequency, no microcurrent here. But you can see the difference, like you can see me doing this. Now it's temporary, but temporary a couple times a week ends up being great for your skin. It does have a lasting effect with that lift, but also with that lymphatic drainage. Like I'm literally draining my skin right now and increasing the energy in each skin cell. And that is one of the things that diminishes with age as well. Like I said, the energy that each skin cell produces diminishes. So your mitochondria are not making the same amount of ATP. This is increasing that. Okay, so that's this. There's no other settings on the Zip. It's one setting. That's it. But it's a combination. So you long hold it to turn it off. You long hold it to turn it on. Use a conductive gel, and you do it just the way that I did it. If you want just like, oh, I'm just going to increase all the energy in my face, you don't have to like do the whole like lift and hold. You can just swirl the whole thing around, but I always do the lift and hold because why not? At this age, like gravity is not my friend. So anything that I can do to lift the skin is great, right? So that's the Zip Halo. I'm going to turn that off. Like I said, this is a two-lobe system. Two-lobe system. The only way to do these, I'm going to do this one next. The only way to do these is with a press and hold technique. A little bit of conductive gel that's also a treatment, has peptides in it. So all I'll do afterwards is pat this in my skin and then follow with a sunscreen that has vitamin C in it. And we'll talk about that, because if I were to follow this with a vitamin C, it's going to negate any peptides that are in there unless I wait the good 15 minutes, which I'm going to end up doing. But the way that you layer peptides with an active that's high in acidity, like a vitamin C or like an AHA, is you've got to do or a retinoid, you have to wait. Because what will happen is a peptide needs a neutral pH balance. And if you're doing an AHA or you're doing a retinoid or an ascorbic vitamin C, it's going to increase that acidity of your skin, which neutralizes and breaks those peptide bonds of any sort of peptide. So if you're just willy-nilly, just throwing stuff on your face in layers, even if you're using that basic skincare 101 layering products, which is the thinnest to the thickest, you still could be negating some of the products that you're putting on because you're killing them you're neutralizing them with too much of an acidic environment. And we're going to talk about that next Saturday. I'm going to go extensively into the ultimate skincare routine and how do you layer products to where you're going to get the most effectiveness out of them without wasting your money. So that's next Saturday, okay? So this is the new face. Again, it does the same thing. It's great for lifting. Make sure I have it on. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Hi, Paige. Okay, so yeah, this is great for lifting. And this one has a beep. So you'll hear the beep. And then you do it again, move to a different location. I like to do this around my mouth to kind of give me a little bit of an upturn of a mouth. Again, I don't use this on my forehead unless my Botox is completely gone. And then I would use it on my forehead. But I mostly use it around for lymphatic drainage on the lower part of the face and around the jaw, as long as you stay away from that thyroid. So you can do it on the side of your chin and chisel out that area. That's also going to help with lymphatic drainage. But see, when I'm doing this, I'm not on this part, which is my thyroid. If that makes sense. Okay, so that's microcurrent. I want to show you one other device for this. For Health for Life says, do you need both devices or do you have a favorite one? I'm going to show you 3 devices and you pick which one's your favorite, okay? Let me tell you the difference. This one is great for travel, and I love it because it's great in a pinch. It's ergonomically designed. It's so easy to use that I love it. This one is a little heavier. Still the same thing, like you're still getting that lift. You're still doing that. You can get the same thing with this. I don't know the price difference or which one's on sale right now, but I know I can get you a discount on the Zip. When you comment the word protocol, not now, when I post this to my main feed and you comment the word protocol, you will get this calendar, but you'll also get a document that says my all-time favorite. I don't know if I have it. I don't. No, I have microneedling protocol. I've got how to choose your best retinoid for you. I've got chemical peels. I've got body treatment protocols. All of this is on the website, by the way, for free, absolutely for free, liveyounglifestyle.com. But I'm going to, you'll also get, when you comment the word protocol, you'll get this, but you'll also get a document similar to those that have my all-time favorite. And then you would search for microcurrent and look at the microcurrent devices. And these are the 3 that I have. These are the 3 that I love whenever I'm traveling. For craft's sake says, I know the Zip is $3.99. I think I don't know how much of a discount I get you on that, but it's in those, when you comment the word protocol, check your DM. It's in there, okay? And it'll have the code and everything for you. Okay, I love this, you guys. I love it. So simple and so easy, a combination of microcurrent and nanocurrent. Love, love, love. This is tried and true. It's been around for a very long time. Why? Because it works. So check and see which one you can get cheaper. It's not about the device. I'm not here to sell you guys devices, except for my mask, because this is the Live Young 8-in-1 wireless LED mask. This is my product. Why did I make this product? Because I've been dealing with red light for 15 years now, and I knew how to make a better mask. And it's not just about red and near infrared. If you have melasma, for example, you should not be doing near infrared. It can trigger melasma. So you might have a red light therapy mask that has red and near infrared, and you would not think about it triggering melasma, but near infrared has the potential to trigger melasma. So if you've ever had that discoloration, that pregnancy mask, when you're on birth control, when you've given birth, when you're on hormone replacement therapy during menopause, perimenopause, and you get that kind of discoloration, you should not be using near infrared. You should be using red and green to treat that. But near infrared could actually stimulate melasma. You don't want to think you're doing something good for your skin and you're taking 5 steps backwards. This is the only product I'm trying to sell you. The others, I don't care. You buy whatever you want. Buy whatever you want, but I'm going to give you the options that I think are the best on the market. Does that make sense? Okay. And then incorporate them strategically and consistently. Whatever device you buy needs to be a device you're going to use. That's the criteria, right? Of these 3, because they're the best ones that I think. Get one that you're going to use. The Zip Halo, there's, like I said, lots of different positives about this. The new face has been around forever because it works. I can tell a difference right now, just even in doing this side with Zip and this with the new face, and I didn't even do a big treatment, my skin feels energized. So microcurrent is great. It's great. This is the other microcurrent device, and this is what I wanted to explain to you real quick. There's two different systems that you can do with microcurrent. This is the only device that I have found that has a 2-probe system. Very different. 2 lobe, you see it's kind of like one of these tips. 2 lobe, 2 probe. This is more similar to those microcurrent devices that are used in office during microcurrent facials. I love this because it gives you the freedom. Like if I were to do educate, which is the same as that, this is like just lifting, right? You want to educate that muscle back in there. To do that, you've got so much, you can anchor one here. You've got a lot of options here, a lot more things that you can do with this device in terms of precise lifting, because that pinch, see that pinch? See that where my skin is? The electrical pulses are moving underneath that. If you're getting zaps and zings and stuff like that, you don't have enough conductive gel on. This, a microcurrent device, just like radio frequency, does not work without a conductive gel. It needs to be an oil-free conductive gel. You can use like a copper peptide, because a peptide with copper in it has metal in it, and that can be conductive in and of itself. So you don't necessarily need to use one of the gels, although the gels have been greatly improved. The Zip has a great gel, as well as this is the industry gold standard, the New Face, which is the Silk Cream Activator. It's firming and it's brightening, and it's formulated with a bunch of different peptides as well. So you literally just pat it into your skin. Back to this device. Okay, so if we're educating, see how much more control I have doing something like this, and really I can get in there to the tips of the corners of the mouth, as opposed to a press and hold technique. Not a lot of variations I can do. The other thing is, this also has an erase mode. And when you do an erase mode, if you're somebody who doesn't have Botox, because again, if you use this on areas like on your 11s where you have Botox, you're going to diminish the amount, you're going to diminish your Botox, because you're basically adding energy into those muscles that have been paralyzed, okay? Temporarily paralyzed. If you're somebody who doesn't, oh my God, I think I just broke this. Oh, I just broke my myolift. I did, I just broke it. I'm gonna show you anyways. If you're somebody that doesn't have Botox and you wanna soften your 11s, you can use an erase mode and pull them apart to soften them. Also, if you've got the vertical lines on the neck, use the erase mode and pull them apart. Corinne says, this reminds me of Suzanne Summers' Face Master. I had 2 probes like that. Ah, yes, I remember that. She was way ahead of her times, wasn't she? She was awesome. Okay, so that's the erase mode, and now I have to get a new one of these machines. Okay, that's microcurrent. I'm gonna put this aside. Back to this. Microcurrent. So we've just recovery, microcurrent. Then on Saturday, we moved to radio frequency. I mean, not radio frequency, to DPL. This is the dual pulse light laser. Hold on one second, let me plug it in. Now, remember, one of the major signs of aging skin, and who cares if we have aging skin? If you care, that's why you're here. But it's not for anybody else, right? Like, how we look in the mirror is really for us. And for me, I like addressing these things. I've got sunspots. I've had sunspots my whole life because I grew up on a farm. And I was very smart to cover my face during those copper tone years, but not smart enough to cover my body. So I've been dealing with sunspots for a long time. In office, IPLs, all that kind of stuff. This is a DPL. It's a dual pulse light laser. This is by Jove's. This is also in that all-time favorite gadgets that you're going to get when you comment the word protocol. I love this because there's 3 different modes. There's a pour mode, pour and brightening, and that's what I'm going to do first. Normally you use this with glasses. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm not going to do a full treatment, but here's what you would do. You hold it down. I have this little button on the side that has the little flash there. Hold it down. Oh my God, am I on the right thing? There we go. So if you do a long hold, then you don't have to press it each time. So I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do around here, and then I'll also do around here. So this I use every Saturday is a DPL all the way down. And then we also, every Tuesday, DPL, except for that first week, of course, because we're healing from from microneedling. Okay. So you cover your whole skin. This helps to target the melanocytes. It targets broken capillaries. It evens out skin tone. It reduces pore size. So I like to do the whole face on like the pore minimizing and brightening mode, which is the first mode. And then I'll show you how I come over the top of this. So you would do your whole skin. It has little glasses, but I'm so used to doing this, I just keep my eyes closed. I get right in the middle, on the nose. Again, I'm in the pore and brightening mode. I have noticed that when using this machine consistently, my pores around my nose are like whoosh, shrunk to nothing. WJM53 says, are you not using the radio frequency tool any longer? I just bought the Luma. I'm going to get to that. Hold on. It's coming. It's not that I'm not using it. That's a great question. But what I've realized in using a radio frequency device at home in a very consistent way is that no matter what they tell you, it has the potential not to melt fat, because that is the wrong thing to say. It has the potential to damage the membrane, that outer little layer, it has the potential to damage the membrane of a fat cell. And when it damages the membrane of a fat cell because of the heat, what that does is it damages that little thing, and then in 4 to 6 weeks, the contents of that fat cell will empty. And what I had realized is when I was using the Lumo, and this is what's coming next because it's going to be on every Sunday. I'm doing it once a week on the Sundays that I'm not doing microneedling of the face. And when you use as a conductive gel as well. But I was doing it like this, right? And chiseling out underneath that cheekbone. Because what you don't want to do is use a radio frequency device on your cheeks. Because we want our fat pads as we get older. They're important. We don't want to disrupt them. And even though a device will say it doesn't have a potential to disrupt fat, heat, your fat cells are very sensitive to temperature, heat, and cold. That's why, cool sculpting, where they used to freeze the fat, they still do that. It's not freezing the fat, it's damaging the little tiny section of that fat cell membrane. That's all it takes. And then it empties the fat cells and empties the content of that fat into your system within 4 to 6 weeks. And that's what happened when I did IPL around the eyes for my dry eyes. So for those of you who don't know that story, I did IPL around the eyes to express those meibomian glands, the oil glands on the bottom. And in doing that, the ophthalmologist damaged my fat cells around my eyes, and within 6 weeks, I lost the fat around my eyes, which is why I had a fat transfer. This last fat transfer changed the way I thought about heat at home. And it doesn't mean that I'm not using heat at home, because I am, but I'm being very strategic about it. When I had him put fat back into my eyes, I also had him put it right here in front of my ears. And the reason is because you'll see this often in social media. You'll see it all the time. People are starting to look like Skeletor. It's not a good look for a midlife woman. We need some fat in our face. And even though if you've got chiseled out cheekbones, you don't want it to look like that, right? And too much of a radio frequency at home underneath that, chiseling that out, absolutely took some fat away here. So when you're using a radio frequency device, not like a DPL or a microcurrent, which we've been talking about, but when you're using a radio frequency device, I would say only use a radio frequency device if you've got fat to spare on your face. If you are very thin and very chiseled out, radio frequency on your face is not your friend. Now you can do it here, right? Chisel it out this way. But to do it here on a consistent, or never on your temples, because we lose fat at our temples as well, could potentially cause the same thing, just that. But it's too much. It's too much. It's a very drastic look for a midlife woman to be too chiseled out. When you look at a more youthful face, when you look at your face when you were 25, we weren't like that. That's not what was happening, right? We had a little bit fuller face. We had that upside down egg. When we age, this egg tends to turn this way, where we're heavier on the bottom. If this is you, if you're heavier on the bottom, you're going to love this. And you could go up to 2 times a week. But on this calendar, I have it every Sunday, on the Sunday that I'm not doing my face. Okay. There's a big difference between RF and microcurrent. That's a great question, David. So microcurrent energizes the skin. It adds a little bit of electricity in that when we're up here, right? When we're at our peak, where we want it to like do its job, and we do that little hold, it's creating that lift. Might be temporary, but temporary is still great, and it helps with lymphatic drainage. So this is microcurrent I'm talking about. But it also has nanocurrent in it, especially when we're talking about the zip halo. So this is increasing ATP production in the skin. It's energizing the skin. And as we age, the energy of the skin declines. Very, very different than, was it DPL that you were asking me about? Yeah, RF. No, RF. RF, so now we're on, look, we just did Saturday. And then we go to Sunday. And this is the Sunday when I'm not microneedling. So it's the Sunday after I microneedled my face. What I am microneedling is my hands. Because it's a Sunday, you still microneedle. And if wherever you have skin, if you don't like the look of it, the crepe of it, if you've got crepey skin here, I would first say, build some biceps, fill it up, right? You've got crepey skin on your tummy. You had the privilege of growing human beings in your body. You had the privilege of growing 3 fully formed human beings in this little tiny body. That stretches that skin out, right? So just because I'm not microneedling my face, because you don't want to do that every 4 to 6 weeks. If you microneedled your face every week, that's that exhaustion. That's that over curling the hair where it doesn't want to curl. That's building up a collagen scaffolding and knocking it down before it's a finished product. Don't do it. You gotta skip. And so in order to make it consistent to where you know, hey, every Sunday I sit down and I microneedle a different body part that is a concern of you. Sometimes I'll do the back of my arms. Sometimes I'll do my hands. Sometimes I'll do my abdomen. Sometimes I'll do my knees. Sometimes I'll even do my full thigh. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a pin like this. It can be a roller if you've got like a big surface area that you're doing. But nothing really in terms of all of the at-home gadgets. There's 2 that are like, this is, you gotta do these 2. If you want to reverse age your skin, if you're biohacking your skin like I do, I biohack everything. That's what I went to school for. I went to school for gerontology. I study aging, and with that emphasis on prevention. So I biohack everything, including the skin, which is our largest organ and our only outward facing organ. And that organ, which actually holds some self-esteem in it. Right? Because nobody walks into a room and says like, have you seen my blood work? It's fantastic. If you looked at my last DEXA scan, nobody does that, right? You walk in skin first. The 2 main at-home gadgets that are non-negotiable for me when I work with a one-on-one client is microneedling, whether you do it with a professional pen or a roller, and red light therapy. Those 2 at-home gadgets. Now listen, we're incorporating radio frequency, microcurrent, dry brushing, chemical peels, all of that in here. But if you had to pick 2 gadgets, get a multi-spectrum red light therapy mask, a multi-spectrum LED mask, and a microneedling tool. That will reverse age your skin, especially if you're incorporating then peptides and effective skincare like that. You could do it with those alone without adding microcurrent, without adding radio frequency. Those 2 for me, a multi-spectrum light and microcurrent, microneedling, non-negotiable. I'll be doing those till I'm in the grave. Okay, next, and this is going to answer your question. On the Sundays that I'm not microneedling my face, I'm microneedling a different body part, and I'm doing radio frequency to my face. So radio frequency, again, takes a conductive gel. I'm just going to use this new skin again. The new face again. This is, you guys, I can't begin to tell you how much this does not feel like conductive gel. It's fantastic because it's literally like I'm just layering peptides and peptides and peptides. Fantastic. Okay, this is the Lumo. When I post this to my main feed and you comment the word protocol to get the free calendar, it will also in that DM give you a link to my favorite products. I can't get it. I don't associate with this company anymore. It was bought out by somebody else. I still love this device. There's another one I have as well. I didn't have it charged, and that was the tripolar for radio frequency. And that one is also great. That's on the favorite products, but this one I didn't have. Okay. This is a combination of radio frequency and EMS, electric muscle stimulation. So it does a little bit of what this does, but the main modality of this is radio frequency, and radio frequency has to do with heat. So microcurrent has to do with energy. Radio frequency has to do with heat. Microneedling has to do creating microtraumas that come to the rescue to heal and make it better. DPL has to do with light that is targeting your melanocytes. So EMS is microcurrent. EMS is, it is and it isn't. EMS is electric muscle stimulation. Microcurrent is typically a little bit less than that. So I would not call this a microcurrent device, even though it has EMS. It literally, you'll see when I do this, it'll go like that. Let me show you. So this is, I want to make sure this is on a lower level because, nope, 1 second. 1 second, sorry. Okay, so this is EMS. I'm going to turn this level down because this is, let me show you. Let me turn it up a little bit. And so now I'm not going back here. I'm going to keep a little bit of this fullness back here because otherwise I'm too Skeletor. So I'm using it right here, just on the chin and right here. And when I do that, if I turn it up a little bit, let's see if I can get this. Maybe I don't have enough conductive gel. Let me see if I can get it to do its thing. See? I don't know if you can see that. I can feel my mouth go, I can't feel it with these. So electric muscle stimulation, you see? I don't want to turn it up too high because it's like, I can feel it. It feels like rubber bands. Oh, there you go. See that? Microcurrent wouldn't do that. If your microcurrent is doing something like that, it's either broken or you don't have enough conductive gel on. But this is muscle stimulation. It's different. It'll cause that little, but the main thing about this is not the muscle stimulation. It's the heat. And radio frequency passes through the epidermis. That's the outer layer of the skin. Goes down to the dermis, which is right underneath there, and heats it to, God, I think it was 40 to 43 degrees Celsius. You'd have to do the conversion on there, but that's freaking hot. So when you're doing radio frequency, you can hold microcurrent there. They tell you to have that little wait, right? When you're doing microcurrent, it'll say like, oh, wait for that little pulse or that little vibration or that little beep. And so you want to hold it in that place where you want your skin to stay. You never stop moving this, which is why I was almost a little bit leery to see you guys do that. You always want to keep this moving. So just even in a regular radio, this is only radio frequency. And when I'm doing this, you got to keep it moving. Even though you can't feel the heat, trust me, it is bypassing those nerve endings of the epidermis and getting down to the dermis. And too much heat, too long, too much can cause that damage of the fat cell. So that's why instead of, this is just for me, if you've got more mass to your face, You're going to love this. If your cheekbones have disappeared and have now become one big blob right here, and there's no indentation here where you just got a round face, you're going to love this because it really will help to chisel out that cheekbone and to keep that, you know, a little bit more of a face contouring. Radio frequency can do that. Don't go over your fat pads of your cheek. Again, we need that. But you can chisel out right here and go right here, and it will really give you a more defined jaw. That said, that's right, WJM53. If you have jowls, you're going to love it. Again, when it shuts off, you don't want any more than 25 minutes in a session. Don't turn it back on. I know a lot of times people will do that with like the mask, and I even do that with the mask too. Like I'll do a session of 10 minutes and I'm walking around because there's no wires. It's like 0 wires, right? You plug this in. So it's very easy to like walk around with this and just continue to press the buttons. I'm going to tell you how you can tell if you've gotten too much red light is that you will get like a rash. Like I have a neck attachment of it. I haven't created a neck attachment yet, but I use a neck attachment of a different brand. And one of my clients saw me using it. I'm like, oh, I want to get that. I'll get your mask and I'll get the thing. And she kept pressing the neck attachment while she was watching a movie. And she couldn't figure out why her whole chest became itchy. Red light therapy will also add ATP, energize the cells, right? It increases circulation, decreases inflammation, fine lines, wrinkles, all that. It's a miracle. There's a lot of stuff that light does, beneficial to our skin. But when you have too much energy in the skin, it will usually come out as like itchy and a rash. You can actually get a rash from it. If you have too much of a radio frequency, you don't feel it. Right now, I feel my skin, where I did that, I feel my skin is energized. But it is 6 weeks later, if you've damaged a fat cell, that fat content empties. And for some people, they're like, great, fantastic. Let's empty that fat. I want to chisel out my cheekbones. And keep an eye on it, because what you don't want to do is lose too much fat in your face. So if you're thin like me, once a week. If you've got mass in your face and you want to contour that face a little bit more, twice a week. But don't continue to press the button. When the treatment is done, it's done, okay? And I don't say that about other types of, like, I don't say that about this. I don't say that about this. Like, it's not going to hurt you to do 2 treatments in a row. Not ideal, but it's not going to hurt you. Don't do it with a radio frequency, because you're talking about heat, and that's when you can damage your skin. Okay. So then, how are we doing on time? Oh my God, we're doing great. We're doing great. Okay, so then we just got done with we microneedled our hands. So we're on this Monday now. We microneedled our hands. We did the post-treatment of hyaluronic acid. We did mineral water, Aquaphor on our hands. We radio frequencied our face. And then you can see it will give you the skincare based on that treatment. Because if you're having, it just depends on what you're doing. If you're doing a chemical peel, you don't want to do a retinoid after that, right? I mean, you got to use common sense. So if you're healing from microneedling, you don't want to do an active that's going to prolong your recovery and not give you as good a results. But now we're down here. So we've microneedled our hands now. Our face is still healing. We radio frequency our face, and because it's non-ablative, you could go back to your normal skincare. So AM peptides plus vitamin C plus sunscreen, PM peptides plus retinoid plus moisture. So I give it all here. Monday, red light therapy again. And then it gives you what you need for the skincare. Tuesdays are DPL. So DPL is every Tuesday and Saturday. That's where you're doing this. DPL, I want to show you, because I showed you the full face in terms of pores and brightening. There's 3 different modes on this, though, and you can use this for your body. And I use it for my body. So for the pore and brightening, I do that. I'll do one more pass for redness. Let me make sure I'm in the right one. So that's pore and brightening, that's redness. So I could do, if I like have a little bit of broken capillaries here, DPL is 2 times a week. And David, you're gonna find it. You'll see it when it's on here. So I'll show you where it is on here. DPL is every Saturday and every Tuesday, except for the Tuesday after you just microneedled your face. So DPL, 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 that makes sense. DPL, you can do it here because we're already 6 days away from microneedling. DPL, 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 DPL. Twice a week with DPL. Once a week with radio frequency, but it's strategic. That's why I did it like this, because once a week with radio frequency doesn't mean you do it here, doesn't mean that you do it at the same time that you're doing it with this. That's heat and heat. So it's strategic in the way that I have it set up to where you can get in twice a week with this without exhausting your face, without exhausting your skin. Once a month at a pretty high intensity of microneedling your face, and then microneedling different body parts. Microcurrent twice a week. Chemical peels once a week. And we get to that. I'm going to do this first for the redness, and then I'm going to show you that. So I'm on redness right now. I usually just go over my cheeks real quick. So hold on. I long hold that little lightning bolt, and then I don't have to even press the button. I just touch it to my skin and it goes off. And that's for any redness that you have in your skin. Because as we get older, rosacea becomes more prominent as well. And rosacea is that, and I have a touch of rosacea. And rosacea is where you've got like kind of pink cheeks, and your sebaceous glands are overactive. So it's not a great thing to have that much red in your face. It's from an overproduction of the sebaceous glands. Guess what? The green light of this mask helps with rosacea. It helps to normalize sebaceous glands. You can't get that with red light. You can, but it's not as direct. You're going to get a much better thing with this. So that's why I use so much green light as well, because it helps with that rosacea, those broken capillaries, all of that. So I normally, on the redness mode, hit the spots that are red. Then I go to the power mode. WJM53. I do feel that the microneedling does help me, but if I feel that it doesn't help you, David, just don't use it. Yeah, I mean, if you've never done microneedling before, watch tomorrow's live show. I'm telling you, it does not hurt as much as you think. It really doesn't. And you can always put this on a 0.25, which is that's a quarter of a millimeter. Do you guys know how a millimeter is a pin dot? A quarter of that is where you can start this and just see how it feels on your hand. See how it feels on your face. I'm telling you, it's not scary. You'll do it the first time and you'll be like, oh, that was nothing. We're now on the power mode. This is where I find those stubborn spots, sunspots, brown spots, things like that. Let me make sure I can press this real quick. Okay. Brown spots, sunspots. This device works for that. Can you use it on your lower extremities? Absolutely. I use it on red spots and little, I have fuzzy socks on right now, little enlarged pores and stuff where hair follicles are. I use it on my lower body all the time. So yeah, you absolutely can. But what I've noticed it works really great with that power mode are the brown, which I used to have 3 little triangles of brown spots, and they are gone. So it's difficult for me to even find them to treat them anymore. I have to look real hard. So that's the power mode. And yeah, you can do your whole face in a power mode. I had somebody that went to the Live Young Healthy Aging Retreat for the first one. And Tony had brown spots like all over her face. She started using this device, and I'm going to try to see if I can get those before and afters for you guys tomorrow. They were shocking if you do have visible brown spots, how much this device helps, okay? So that is, the DPL is once a week. So we're over here now, red light therapy, DPL, face, neck, chest. Wednesday is microcurrent, so we go back to microcurrent, red light therapy again, microcurrent. But on Thursdays, you'll see here, let me see if I can see it. Yeah, Thursdays, not that first Thursday, because that we just microneedled our face. This is where I put in the chemical peels. Chemical peel, chemical peel, chemical peel. And how do you adjust your skincare post chemical peel, because you don't want to do a chemical peel, wash it off, and then you're going to do your retinoids and all of that kind of stuff. Christine says, not every device is good for everyone. We must find out what works for us. That's right. The DPL helped with the brown spots and age spots. Yes, it did. Absolutely, it did. And broken capillaries and an overall more even skin tone. That's this, right? Works similarly because it targets melanocytes to green light, right? Green light targets melanocytes. This targets the melanocytes to calm them down. That's why this has to do with that hyperpigmentation in the skin, but also pore size. Okay. And Roth 1217 said the DPL worked for me. It worked for me too. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be in here. Okay. So the chemical peels, I go over an entire thing of chemical peels. I've done a live show with chemical peels, how to choose the chemical peel that's right for you. I give clickable links, products that I recommend, products that I use. It's all on the website, liveyounglifestyle.com. But Thursday, every second, third, and fourth Thursday of the month, well, and more, because it depends. If I, like most of the time, it's 4 weeks, I'll get back around here. If for some reason I've got like some big event and I'm like, I don't want to microneedle right before I'm going to this event. I want my skin to be great for this event, then it could be pushed down. So it's every 4 to 6 weeks you want to do your face. If you, for example, you're like, I have an event, I don't want to like microneedle my face, I'm going to push that to next week, add a different body part. Hands, back of the arms, shoulders, chest, neck, abdomen, knees, all of it can be microneedled, all of it. And that's pretty much it. So you kind of get the idea that you've got your chemical peels here, and then the way that you change your skincare is right here. And I have, after my chemical peel, let it breathe. Let it breathe. Because once you see the ultimate skincare routine that I'm going to go over next week, products and products and products on your face, sometimes it's nice to do a chemical peel and just go to sleep with nothing on. But if you're one of those people that's like, you feel terrible without chapstick or lipstick or, something moisturizing on your mouth, or like you feel terrible without skincare. It's like, do your chemical peel, wash it off, do your peptides, like healing peptides, which we'll go over, do your peptides, and then just a moisturizer, but no active ingredients. No active ingredients like a retinoid or anything like that. And then we go back to the same thing. We're on microcurrent on Friday, DPL on Saturday, microneedling neck and chest, and doing radio frequency on the face. So microneedling neck and chest, doing radio frequency on the face. AM and PM sunscreen is right there. And then we go back to the same thing, red light therapy, DPL, microcurrent, red light. On Thursdays, we're doing a chemical peel as well, microcurrent, DPL. Microneedling our knees. You can change this to whatever is your concern. Maybe your knees are perfect. I don't know. Maybe your hands, like you're like, I have got to get my hands in there. They have to be part of that monthly thing, which they are for me as well. You can change this as long as you're only going back to the face every 4 to 6 weeks. No sooner than 4 weeks. No sooner than 4 weeks. Okay, that's all I have, everybody. That is the Live Young skincare calendar. You can get to this by commenting the word protocol once I post this to my main feed. Let me see if there was any questions. What's the name of the conductive gel peptide that you use? That's by New Face. This is a silk cream activator. Great. It literally feels like nothing. Now it feels like just skincare. So I'll put on a sunscreen after this. What microneedling device am I using? I'm using the what microcurrent device? I actually have all of these in the bathroom. Although I have to say, it's rare these days that I'm using the MyoLift, just because I'm doing so many other things that it's like, these are so convenient. And yeah, this gives you a little bit better treatment, but it's also, I can do the zip while I'm standing in my red light therapy panels. I can do the microcurrent with one hand while I'm drinking tea, right? It's hard to do that with this when you're looking at 2 different probes. You need 2 hands. You got to have 2 hands for this. So it's a little bit more of a commitment. But I love these 2. These 2 by far are my favorite. If I had to choose, I'd probably choose the Zip, just because it's so easy to use. It's lighter. It's just easier to travel. I have a great result with this. So if I had to choose, I would choose this one. I hope that helps. Okay. Anything else? Let's see if there was any other questions. That's what I'm saying. The Joves help with sunspots, but you have to be patient. You have to be patient. You cannot expect everybody to zap a sunspot and then it's gone. It doesn't work like that. It's not like Star Wars where it just lasers it, obliterates it, and it disappears into thin air. No, it doesn't do that. It takes a while, and sometimes when you do it, it gets a little bit darker because that pigment is being broken up, comes to the surface a little bit. Just like an IPL, when you do an IPL in office, that's that intense pulse laser that targets the sunspots and lifts them up in office. Even that, they get darker first before they start lightening up. So you have to be patient and you have to test it. Test it. Do a test on the front of your ear first. Make sure, do a test on like a couple of moles, but be consistent with it. Okay, that's all I have, everybody. Let's see. I want to make sure there was nothing else. I'm so glad. Using red light mask now and huge results. Amazing. Okay, so this is what is up for grabs for absolutely free. All you have to do when I post this to my main feed, please follow. Don't get my free stuff and not follow me, right? So there's lots of different stuff that I said is on the website, Live Young Lifestyle. Everything is for free. But if you, when I post this to my main feed, follow me, give it a heart, right? Give it a heart. Send it to a friend who's skincare obsessed, and then comment the word protocol and check your DM. Okay, I will see you guys next Saturday for the 2026 edition of the Ultimate Skincare Routine. It's how do you mix at-home gadgets with the most effective topical skincare, even things that you can ingest as well, and even peptide shots that you can give yourself for skin. I mean, it's everything that has to do with the ultimate skin, and that is going to be next Saturday at 12 o'clock. Okay, everybody, follow, like, send it to a friend, comment the word protocol. I'll see you next Saturday.